Welcome to my relative clause explained second edition. Actually, I'm very sorry to say that my previous edition was not successful because there was a technical error that took place while I was recording that one. So, but this will better explain you the same elements in an explanatory way. Let's move on to our first relative clause session. It is let's take now the manager who works in that shop has no personalities. If we talk about this, there are two sentences. The manager has no personalities. This is the main sentence. But I want to describe more about this manager, because relative clause means, as I told you earlier, we elaborate or we give more explanation to a noun. In this sentence, there are two nouns. One is the manager, other one is the personalities. So now in this sentence, I'm going to describe more about the manager. So the manager, I have provided with another sentence. He works in that shop. So I can combine this. I can insert this "he works in that shop" to the main sentence. The manager who works in that shop. And the main verb is has no personalities. That's how actually when you add relative clauses, your sentences become very meaningful. This is the way that you score high marks for competitive exams and the entrance examinations such as IELTS, PTE, GRE, like that. Let's move on to the second sentence. If I say, this one, the criminals who are convicted must be sentenced with lifetime imprisonment. The main sentence here is the criminals must be sentenced with lifetime imprisonment. There are nouns, as I told you. We are describing nouns by adding relative clauses. There is one noun, criminals, the other one is imprisonment, but I have wanted to describe more about the criminals. Then I have said the criminals who are convicted, who are convicted by the court, must be sentenced with lifetime imprisonment. That means must be given a lifetime imprisonment as punishment. Let's move on to the third sentence. There are three sentences I have joined together to elaborate nouns in the main sentence. The children learn English better than others. This is the main sentence. I want to describe more about the children, and better than others. I want to describe others. So there are two nouns that I want to describe in the main sentence. So let's see how I have done it. The children who study in primary schools. That is what I have inserted. They study in primary schools. I have inserted it to children here. The children who study in primary schools. And what is the main verb? Learn English better than others. Others study at the secondary school. So I want to elaborate more about others now. So I have written that school learn English better than. I have replaced those who are at secondary schools, or those who study at secondary schools. Then we move on to fourth sentence. Mr. Peter, there is a comma here. There are two commas here. That's another important information that you should know. If you know the noun you are describing, then you must add a comma. But the earlier sentences we did not know, we don't know the person. There is a kind of a common noun I use. But here I have used proper nouns. Peter, Mr. Peter. There must be a comma before the relative clause. It's compulsory if you know the person, and there must be another comma after that sentence. Mr. Peter teaches us English. Mr. Peter, he lives near here. So Mr. Peter who teaches us English, comma, lives near here. Or we can say Mr. Peter who lives near here teaches us English. That's also correct. And for fifth sentence, there are people in the society. That is the main sentence. I want to describe about the people, but there is a little problem that I can't use they are reserved people. I can't use this relative clause very close to people. I have just a little bit taken this relative clause away from people, jumping 3 words, but who are reserved, still I talk about the people. There won't be a problem, because my advice is that try your best to use the relative clause closer to the noun you are describing. Here the noun you are describing is people, but the problem is you cannot directly run who are reserved just directly next to it. I have to use it later, jumping 3 words, but it doesn't matter, because who represent people, not the society. There are people in the society who are reserved. That means I still talk about the people, though I have jumped 3 words out, but who represent people, therefore there is no confusion, there won't be any confusion. The other one, the main sentence, it is predicted that the modern man will neglect his parents. I want to describe more about this man. I mean, he will be successful in every aspect. So it is predicted that the modern man, that is the place where you have to use relative clause, who will be successful in every aspect, and this is the main verb, will neglect his parents, will neglect his parents. So now finally I say that we use relative clause to describe the nouns in the sentence, and we insert the relative clause into the sentence. For further details, if you have any doubt, please call my number, and I'm ready to help you. Thank you very much.